Thanks, Martin. Joining me is one of Ireland's breakthrough sports stars of 2021. Leona Maguire grew up playing golf with her twin sister in Cavan before they both departed for Duke University, where she completed a psychology degree. As an amateur, she enjoyed a record-breaking collegiate career and represented Ireland in the 2016 Rio Olympics and the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. In 2017, she topped the world amateur golf ranking for an incredible 135 weeks, the longest combined total at number one in women's history. In 2018, she turned pro. A Solheim Cup wildcard and the first Irish woman to play in the tournament, she went on to win more points than any rookie in the history of the competition, and all without any European fans due to COVID restrictions. Leona, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for the introduction.
So, in the time that we've all been working from home, you've catapulted from LPGA rookie to Solheim Cup winner. That's really impressive. Paul McGinley has described you as tough, and you've said that you needed nerves of steel to compete in Ohio. How have you learned to manage the pressure and the nerves at a time when all of us are dealing with added levels of stress?
Yeah, I mean, it's not normal times for anybody, whether it be in sport or business or life in general. So I suppose we're kind of adapting all the time, learning from your experiences. And for me in sport, it's all about controlling the things I can control. We travel a lot. We move in and out of different countries. There's always new restrictions, new rules, new guidelines coming from the tour. And ultimately, all we can do is focus on what we can control. For me, that's going back to a lot of my routines and in preparation for the Solheim Cup or any big event. I have my routines I go through. I know what I need to practice. I know what I need to work on in the days leading up to the tournament, while I'm at the tournament, before my rounds, after my rounds. And that gives me confidence and sort of reassurance, knowing that I'm as well prepared as I possibly can, and then relying on my team around me to feed me information and sort of tailor those preparations and practice as much as I can.
And you've had to do some remote work as well, right, with your coach. How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with COVID and everything, we used to take for granted being able to travel in and out of countries, no problem. Shane, my coach, is based back in Dublin, so I've spent the majority of the last 2 years in the US, so he wasn't able to travel over. So similar to what I did when I was in college, sending him videos back and forth, analysing my swing, FaceTime calls, that sort of thing. And obviously it's not the same as if he was there in person, but just having to make the most of it. And I suppose lucky that the technology is getting more and more advanced all the time to be able to do that.
Wow. So 2021 was an incredible year for women in Irish sport. You're the first Irish woman to play in the Solheim Cup. Kelly Harrington, Ellen Keane, Rachel Blackmore, pushing boundaries in their own fields as well. I'm wondering, growing up, did it feel like you were pushing boundaries? And if so, did it help to be doing so with your twin sister?
Yeah, I mean, this year's been an incredible year for Irish sport, and I suppose our ladies have been leading the way. I mean, I've been inspired by all their heroics, and I think that's the power of sport. It doesn't really matter what sport it is. So growing up, I mean, there was no Irish player on the LPGA. There was no Irish female player on the tour to look up to. So I had to look to other sports for role models, people like Sonia O'Sullivan and Katie Taylor. And as like you said, me and Lisa growing up as twins, we looked up to the Williams sisters, and I suppose tried to emulate what they were doing in tennis and then sort of transfer that over to golf. And we were going to tournaments where we were the only Irish players there. We were a lot younger than other people. And yeah, I mean, it was huge to have both of us there. We sort of had a built-in best friend and buddy. We pushed each other. We were always competing against each other. One day she won and I wanted to beat her the next day, and vice versa. So we probably brought each other on without realizing it, but at the same time we were big supporters of one another as well. And if I didn't win, I wanted her to win. And without realizing it, and I suppose moving to the US to college, that was definitely a big adjustment, but it was a massive help that Lisa was there alongside me and we could go through that experience together and figure it out together.
And I wonder then, did that set you up for playing in the team environment? And how do you prepare for playing on a team? And what did you learn from your team success that you think you'll be able to bring into your own game then?
Yeah, I think being a twin is a unique relationship. I suppose mom and dad, when we were younger, always reinforced that we were teammates in everything. Whatever Lisa did, I did. We were fortunate that we had a lot of the same interests and that growing up. So we basically did everything together. And like I said before, if she didn't win, I wanted to win, and vice versa. So yeah, we were always sort of that built-in team growing up, and I've always loved team sports. We would have played Gaelic football and soccer and basketball and all kinds of sports growing up. So being part of a team is something I've always enjoyed being part of the team at Duke as well for those 4 years that I was there. And I suppose golf is a very individual sport. You can be a little bit selfish at times. It's sort of all the focus is on you, but I've always enjoyed that sort of team aspect in the Solheim Cup and being part of the Irish Olympic team in Rio and Tokyo. Just being a part of something bigger than yourself. I think you have to put your own ego aside for those weeks, and it's whatever you can do to contribute to the team. And I suppose at the Solheim Cup, we were incredibly lucky to have fantastic captain in Katrina Matthew and vice captains. And ultimately that week it was about doing whatever we could to help the team. And we all had our individual strengths that we brought to the team. Some of us, it was a case of going out and win as many points as possible. Some people, it was in the locker room for that energy and positivity and spurring on your other teammates. So we all brought a different aspect to the team, and ultimately it's about making sure the team does as well as possible.
Thank you. So our team at the IDA, we talk about pulling on the green jersey to represent Ireland, and we have colleagues in 29 countries around the world, including a large cohort in the US. So how do you paint Ireland to the people you meet in the US and on tour?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a unique thing from being from Ireland. It's nice to always see the smile appear on people's faces when they see the tricolour next to my name or ask me where I'm from, and they always sort of bring up that they've traced their roots back to somewhere in Ireland, whether it be Cork or Kerry or Galway or wherever it is, and they're always sort of excited to tell me about the golf trip they took or something like that, or the one they're planning, and advice on where to go and what are sort of the hidden gems. So I suppose for me, I always reinforce that there's something in Ireland for everybody, whether it's for the golfer. We've so many incredible golf courses, but if it's someone that enjoys the outdoors, whether it be cycling the Ring of Kerry or going up to visit the Giant's Causeway or something like that. And then obviously there's a wealth of hospitality in Ireland, and that's something I always sort of focus on as well, how welcoming and how friendly everybody is, the culture that's there, whether it's in the arts or music, and there's really something for everybody. And I think people love to say they have a little bit of Irish in them, and it's great to have that reputation around the world and to see so many people enjoying Ireland and what we have to offer.
Well, it sounds like you're an excellent ambassador. So you're constantly refining the finer details of your game through conditioning, nutrition, working on certain shots and practicing your short game. So what one piece of advice would you offer to my IDA colleagues to help improve their golf game?
Oh wow, yeah, I suppose that's the beauty about golf. You're never done learning. Even for me, there's always something new. But I suppose work on your short game. It's nice. It's a lot of fun to go to the driving range and hit balls as far as you can. But generally, the putting and short game is where the most shots can be shaved off. And also focus on yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people. I know it's easier said than done. I suppose that's the nice thing with golf. You have a handicap. So everyone's kind of on that even playing field, and don't compare your journey to where anybody else is. Some people have been playing for 20, 30 years. Some people are relatively new to the game. So, yeah, just focus on yourself, work on your short game, and have fun. I suppose it's meant to be enjoyed by people of all ages. So, just enjoy it, and the more you enjoy it, the more likely you are to practice, and the more you practice, I suppose, the better you'll get.
Makes sense. So finally then, what's next in your sights, and what do you have to do to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle of my sort of off pre-season right now. So sat down at the end of my LPGA season and figured out what went well this year and what needed improvement with my team, and back in the gym trying to get an extra bit of yardage for the 2022 season now, and just sort of making fine touches, improvements to every little part of my game. Golf is a game of very small margins. So working on trying to hit the ground running as fast as I can in 2022. There's a lot of big tournaments to look forward to. Excited to go to Muirfield and Congressional for the first time, and back to the US Open and Pine Needles. So a big schedule of majors ahead in 2022, and trying to challenge as much as I can for those.
Leona, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you, and everyone here at the IDA would like to wish you well with what's to come. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much.